All right. I hope everyone can hear me well. All right. Okay, so let's start off with the market summary here. Oh, welcome everyone. Welcome. See people are coming in, slowly coming in here. No, let's wait. Let's wait one more minute. How about that? Let's wait one more minute. I just posted on Instagram as well for people to join in. So I'm pretty sure people will start coming in as well. Okay, let's start. Okay, so we had a pretty interesting day today. There's a lot of chop going on. So if I go to the 15-minute time frame, I can't really show you guys how much chop that we had today. So yesterday I did talk about that we had significant levels of resistance around 437 as a whole number, or even around 436.50ish, and we kind of chopped around that low tiny range there most of today, while yesterday we were chopping around the support level of around 433, 433 as a whole number. And so I did say yesterday that if we're able to break above 437, we should see a climb back towards 438 and eventually back towards 440, which is the start of our gap fill here. Okay, and so there's something that you guys have to know. SPY always fills in gaps, whether it be a gap down or gap up. So make sure you guys take note of that because, well, for example, right here, this is direct evidence right here. After we had this big gap down here last week, we completely filled it in, right? And so we can have another incident like this tomorrow where we can fill this gap in right here. But however, there's different catalysts here now. Tomorrow we have the voting in Congress and Senate in the Senate. So for the infrastructure bill as well. So we will have to wait and see how that goes and how that will affect the overall market. So now, what I liked about today, okay, today's action, was that we were basically chopping around, obviously, right? Except we weren't coming back down to this major level support. Because if we came back down, so you know, let's look at these 2 points right here. If you look at, oops, let's try that again. If you're looking at these 2 points right here, okay, if these points went all the way back down to 433 and both times today, that would give me a stronger conviction to the sell side. All right, because that means sellers are strong enough to make the price come back to this huge area of support from yesterday. So what I liked about today was that we stayed near this level of resistance, even though we got rejected, right? It just doesn't mean that you know, we're gonna keep on selling off, right? You know, sure, we had a lot of scalping opportunities today, which I also took advantage of. But it does not mean that tomorrow we can sell off again. But overall, right? Overall, we still have a major catalyst tomorrow for the government, so we still need to be on watch for that. But overall, the price action for me, I liked it. We stayed near the level of resistance here, and we touched it multiple times today, throughout today actually, and we didn't come down to this major area of support ever, once. Okay, so what you guys need to watch out for is just a break above 437 tomorrow. if we're able to go back up over there, or a break of underneath 433. Okay, so that's kind of it for SPY on the daily time frame. Okay, on the daily time frame, we're still underneath the daily 50 SMA here, which is my dark blue line for anyone new who's watching. But I think, at some point we will have to start making some type of a base here. Okay, on the other side, we're not really oversold. Okay, as you guys can see right here, if I bring up my RSI, we're still relatively not too strong, but still not oversold, not just yet. Not as much as we were last week. Okay, but this rejection right here from this descending level of resistance that I talked about yet on Monday on my live, this is still going to be a very significant level of resistance going forward. Okay, so if we kind of chop around right here in this range, we should see either a break above or another significant sell to the downside. Okay, so let's talk about PLTR. All right, so PLTR, I drew out like this. Okay, on my live on Monday, and I did say that if you're not able to hold above this ascending level of support, okay, this ascending trend line of support here, we will fall lower, and that's exactly what we did on Monday. Okay, on Tuesday, excuse me. So on Monday, we were right here. Everything looked like it could be good here since we were kind of bouncing above 27.50, which was our previous level of resistance. However, Tuesday came rolling in and we gapped down and we continued to sell off. Okay, now since we have lost this ascending trend line of support, we have our next ascending trend line of support, which is in a bigger picture aspect here, because this trend line goes all the way back to early May. All right, we start this trend line from early May, and then we hit it again around late June and late July, excuse me, and early August, and then we revisit it once again today. So either tomorrow is going to be a great buying opportunity for us, okay, as we can possibly most likely bounce above this ascending trend line of support, or tomorrow's going to be another significant sell-off day for this name, and we can head back down towards 22.50ish to around 23, or even further below that, around 20.50ish. Okay, which is our very, very significant area of support that we absolutely need to hold. Okay, I talked about this on my lives months ago when we were talking about PLTR here. I said that we need to hold 20.55 or 0.50ish in order for us to head up higher, and that we did. Okay, so that's kind of one of the names that I've gone over multiple times, and that's the reason why I want to go over it today as well, and I'm probably going to go over it on my next few lives as well. Okay, so the next one I want to go over is AMD. So AMD was initially doing everything that I explained that AMD could do. So I was requested to do AMD, chart AMD here on this day right here. And I said that we can kind of come back in to the chart pattern and eventually hit this level of resistance again. Now, we were almost there, except market conditions completely negated this bullish chart pattern. Now we're just breaking down to the downside with significant volume. And I did say on Monday that we need to hold this $100 support level, because that is our psychological golden sort of price there, where a stock that has just crossed above what the $100 level, it's going to use that $100 level as its new psychological support level. So a lot of people are going to be looking at this name tomorrow. If we break below 100, or maybe even slightly below 100, and that could cause a cascade of sell orders to come in and a lot of selling to come back into this name, as we've been seeing the past 2 days, and we continue to go lower since there isn't much support after this huge monumental breakout about this big base that we made. Okay, so we can come back all the way back down to around 96, $96, or maybe around 97. Okay, so you guys have to watch out for AMD here, because if you break 100, that is a huge bearish signal for AMD. As you guys also can see, all my major SMAs, and especially my momentum SMAs, the 10 and 21 pairs here, my red is my 10, my light blue is my 21, is curving downward. And so if we break below the 20, if the 21 crosses below the 50 SMA here, we can see some more significant selling. But tomorrow, we can definitely get a bounce tomorrow. If we have this kind of a double bottom bounce, I don't know if you guys can see this. So if we are able to bounce right here, so this will be our double bottom right here. So, tomorrow we can have that temporary bounce and the rejection off of this ascending trend line of support right here, around 104.50ish to around 105. Okay, so watch out for that, guys, tomorrow. Okay, we have some requests finally. All right, so Sean, we have Tiger first of all. Okay, Tiger, I know what this name is. It does not look pretty. All right, tomorrow we can have a small bounce day, and then some more significant selling. But to be honest, there's really nothing to be done here on this chart, except there's going to be some more selling, probably all the way back to $7.50-ish. Okay, there's not much support around here. So if I were to make a line around the low of the day today, okay, and we look at the past here, we did not really, we basically didn't form any type of support in this run up in late 2020 here. We just rocketed up sky high, right? And we did not have any sort of consolidation like we saw right here, or any type of base formation. Instead, we just kept it going up and up and up and up and up, and we only used intraday supports to keep on continuously pushing up higher. And so this name, very ugly. We broke out of this support level here around 12.75ish, or maybe around 13 as well if you want to kind of round it up, and we are going to continue to go lower. And the fact that we've broke lower and then revisited 13 and couldn't overtake 13 again is a clear sign and indication that we are confirmed to head lower as well. So sure, we might see some slow tiny bounces here and there like we saw right here, because we were going a little bit oversold on intraday time frames like the hourly or even the minutes time frames. But overall, the bigger picture here is that we're going to continue to sell off, and I can highly see, probably see maybe a sell off around 8 to 7 here, okay, 7.50ish. So if you want to short this name, you can. I mean, the trend is on your side here, literally, right? So we didn't even come back up to fill this gap up, and we just continue to sell off. So the bears are fully in control. The trend is on your side, so you can short this name. All right, Boeing. So Boeing has been going off. I've been noticing it a lot, all over social media as well. And the option contracts are getting very, 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 it's getting hit with a lot of volume as well. So, BA can be something that can skyrocket as well, because of the fact that if you look at the weekly time frame, right here, right? So right here, this is a weekly descending channel, right? And this thing is looking absolutely incredible, because if we're able to hold, all right, the 50 SMA here. So if I take this off here, the candlesticks, and if you just focus on my SMAs here, you can see that this 50 SMA is coming back upwards and it's not supporting the candlesticks. Here, one more time here. All right, as support. And also, we're seeing that the 10 and 21 SMAs are curving upwards, right? So it's trying to stay away from the 50 SMA. We already crossed above it here before, but now that we're kind of consolidating here, the 10 SMAs and the 21 SMA are now cooling off with the price. And that's the reason why we're seeing this descending channel here. all right, because of the fact that the price is cooling down. We're letting it consolidate after this big move up from low 80s here, low 90s here, and we're back at the 200s here. So on the weekly time frame, I would highly suggest that you guys look at BA on the weekly time frame, just for the sole reason that you want to focus on the bigger picture here, especially if you want to swing this name. So we have potential to break out above this descending channel all the way back towards 260, which should be your profit target. And also, airlines have been very strong throughout this market turbulence. So, BA can be a very good name to kind of watch out for it to move inversely compared to the market, right? And what that basically means is that if the market goes down, then airline names such as BA can move upwards. Okay, and that's it for Sean's tickers here. Let's look at Joel's. All right, so we have another 2 sets of airlines here. So jets. So let's look at the bigger picture here. All right, the bigger picture, everything here of all airlines here for now. So jets. This is a name I actually lost a lot of money on. All right. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't a significant portion, but when I look into it, in a micro sense, specifically on that trade, I did lose a lot of money on that. But I did get in. Okay, let's actually before I go into my technical analysis, I got in at right here, right at it was good risk to reward ratio there, to be honest, because it's right at this demand area or support around 25, and so I was looking to get I got in. Well, I did get in, and I had to sell right over here, which is a previous level of resistance. So I let my bias take over that. As we're going to the summer months, right? There's gonna be a lot more people going out and traveling, right? Which is true, right? Which is true, but the price was just not factoring it in. So I was just scratching my head, wondering why, right? Why isn't the overall airline sector not reacting to all the bookings, right? All the airline bookings, there's travel was coming back to pre-COVID levels, right? We had all those bullish headlines, except the price wasn't doing much, right? There's no reaction to it, except we just kept on selling off and off and off. So what eventually happened, right, was that I had to suffer a loss and I had to reconsider how to play airlines here. And so I left airlines alone for a couple months here throughout the whole of the summer here, and the price decided to finally react to all the numbers that are coming out for airlines. And airlines had another significant batch of bad news, but I think that was the last batch of bad news because, you guys know that saying, right? When others are scared, you want to go in, right? And so that last batch of negative news was probably the buy signal there because the airlines have been battered, for over a year now. So, it's been seeing a decent recovery, but it's one of those names in the sector, like Jets or AAL or BA that still has a lot of significant upside left to go because of the fact that they're not fully recovered yet since the COVID dip. So, Jets weekly time frame here, okay. What I was initially seeing was a head and shoulders pattern. All right, so we have our head. Okay, our head is right here, and this is my left shoulder that I'm seeing, and then my right shoulder, and we have our neckline around 22ish, right? And so if we were able to break below 22, if somehow airlines were going to do a lot worse after this record-breaking summer travel event is what I was saying. It's not really record breaking. We just came right back to the pre-COVID levels. If something really negative came out and said that airlines are not looking to be profitable at all for the next 1 or 2 years anymore because of lower bookings, that would have absolutely crashed all airline stocks. But Instead, we got a huge influx in volume, of buying volume, and we completely negated, okay, this pattern. Now, the only way we will be able to actually confirm that we've completely negated this bearish head and shoulders pattern is that if we're able to break above 27. All right, if we're able to break up above this head here, okay. But if you're able to, if you guys want to do play this name, I would suggest that wait for a confirmation that we are absolutely bouncing above $24 here, which is our previous level of resistance. And if we bounce on top of it, that will be our new support going forward. So you guys can play from 24 to 27. I know some people have leaps. I know one of my good friends, Chef, has some good leaps on this name. He's been holding ever since around here, I believe, around September, early September, late August. So Jets can be a good potential play for the long term. AAL, same situation. So I drew this descending trend line of resistance right here. Okay, it goes all the way down here, and we're making a descending triangle here on the daily time frame. However, we broke out above this descending trend line of resistance, completely negating this bearish chart pattern, and now we're on a confirmed uptrend. Okay, so this week we rejected off of 22. All right, now all we need to do is use 21 as a new level support, or if we continue to go lower, use 20.50 as our new level of support. But if we go below that, okay, if we go right below that, we're coming right back into the range that we were in and stuck in this descending triangle pattern. Okay, so that means sellers are going to be back in control. Now, on the weekly time frame, the one thing that I just noticed right now, I am not liking how this 10 SMA is curving lower now, right? I would expect to see that this 10 SMA is starting to curve upwards, not flatlining here, okay, and kind of curving lower as well, including the 21 SMA as well, okay? So I would want to see a continuous price action to the upside, and for the 10 SMA to support the movement to the upside as well. All right, so make sure you guys are watching these levels. Okay. Hey, Vivian. Nice to see you here. All right, so Joel, that was it for your tickers. And Vivian, let's go over your ticker here. XOM. So energy, right? There's a huge energy crisis, right? Prices are soaring because supply, right? There's no supply, but huge demand. So prices are soaring. That's basic economics, right? And energy has been really, really strong. If you guys look at the XLE, the energy ETF here, after some initial dips to the 200 SMA here, we broke above 50 here. And so once you broke above 50 on this overall ETF, energy ETF, every single energy name, just like XOM, which has a huge weight out of all the energy sector names, it also took a huge run after breaking above 56. All right, so I would say energy should start cooling off a little bit this week, as you guys can see right here, right? But we're seeing continuous volume, which I like to see after initial breakout. So this is a very, very clean breakout. However, we're kind of basically fighting between the bears and bulls here. The bulls and the bears are just continuously fighting, and they're ending up at a stalemate because back to back we've had doji candles, right? And doji candles are candlesticks that are generally telling you that the market is indecisive here, and bears and bulls don't know where to go, right? And so the rest of the week I would assume or at the very least predict that we can see some significant trend here soon, either to the downside for some significant consolidation and maybe even fill the gap right here, all the way back down to around 58 or 57.50ish maybe. Okay, but if we come back down, we need to break. We need to not break above 50, below 57.80ish, and actually use 58 as a new level support. All right. But if we are able to stay above 59 as our new level of support, we can see significant upside again back towards all-time highs to around 63 to 64. Okay, but just watch out for this gap right here because energy names can and are known to fill in gaps, right? If it's a gap up or gap down, right? So XOM, it looks pretty good. There's a continuous amount of bullish volume, good breakout. This is all the it has all the hallmarks, excuse me, of a great breakout. Okay, so Vivian, that's it for XOM. There really isn't much to look at anymore for XOM. And that was not, oh, actually, that was not the all-time high levels here. Seems like the all-time high levels here were, if I look at the all-time chart, was 75.28. Okay. And this is why you need to look at the bigger picture. And I sometimes even make mistakes myself. So make sure you guys always focused on the bigger picture, the weekly, the monthly. All right. Okay. So that is it for XOM. I hope that was insightful. That there really wasn't much to talk about except that there's a good breakout and it can continue to the upside if we see a little bit of consolidation for the rest of the week. Okay. So we have our next name here. Let's look at the weekly time frame. There we go. The daily is a little bit too clustered with all my intraday and daily time frame levels there. So let's make this easier for your eyes, guys. All right, so Amazon, right back at that 50 SMA once again, and this is kind of worrying me here. Okay, you guys can see how we visited the 50 SMA 3 times already, and now we're back at it again a 4th time. All right, so this is telling me that there's a possible moment in the near-term future situation where Amazon can continue to sell off and actually break below 50 SMA and stay below 50 SMA just because of the fact that we allowed the 50 SMA to catch up by staying near it, okay, instead of moving away from it like we were trying to do right here. And we were doing fine until obviously the market started to sell off. And so, you know, overall, Amazon is a great stock for the long term, but technically right now it doesn't look too good, especially if we end the week either right on the 50 SMA or even slightly below that 50 SMA. That will be a warning sign for next week for Amazon, because if we break below 50, the 50 SMA on the weekly time frame here, we will see significant downside back towards 3,100. Okay, or maybe around right here. If I can move my line here. Okay, and so this can be very, very bad for Amazon. Okay, so if we come back to the daily time frame, let's take out all the drawings here. And my laptop's about to be out of battery, so let me make sure the laptop is charged. Okay, all right. I hope these lives have been absolutely helpful for you guys. If it has been, please send a thumbs up in the chat below. I hope you guys are able to play off of the levels that I've been giving you as well. I know a lot of people really, really enjoy these. Okay, so Amazon daily time frame, again, on the daily time frame, the 200 SMA is coinciding to the weekly 50 SMA. All right, that's a common pattern, a common thing that I see, and now I'm very used to as well. So, you know, Amazon, we closed below 200 SMA today on the daily time frame, so we can see some significant downside. The only thing that I'm worried about is that if we continue to sell off and we finally get that death cross where the daily 50 SMA crosses below the daily 200 SMA, that will be very worrisome. Okay, because that means Amazon can start a long-term bearish downtrend. All right, so make sure you guys are on watch for that as well. Okay, let's look at Tesla. So Tesla has been moving inversely to the market. And what does that mean again? Well, when SPY has been selling off, when the overall markets have been selling off, Tesla has been moving to the upside. And it's been very strong against all the sell-offs as well, including today. So we are, let's go to the weekly time frame. We're kind of in a precarious situation as well for Tesla though, because we're forming this ascending channel here. Okay. Just roughly just draw it here. And ascending channels, as you guys already know or may not know, is a bearish chart pattern where we can see a significant break to the downside if we come back down to this ascending trendline support, okay, which could be around 740, 760, 750. So around 740 to 750 could be our price levels where we need to watch out for, which can become a strong level of support, or that could be the place where the price starts to sell off and we could break below this ascending trend line of support. So you guys have to watch out for this this ascending, well, bigger picture ascending channel here, because of the fact that if we break below, okay, we don't have much support if we cross below 700. Okay, so we can move another 100 points lower back towards 600 to see some significant support. But, you know, Tesla's a name that can move a lot if it wants to, as you guys can see right here. All right, so, you know, if you guys want to catch the movement to the downside, it can have a lot of rewarding opportunities. But so far, we're in a very precarious situation. We are continuously rejecting off of this ascending trend line of support, and instead not forming some type of a bullish chart pattern to get out of this ascending channel. Okay, and we just continue to respect this ascending channel, this ascending level of resistance here. Okay, this trend line. So if you continue to respect it by rejecting off of it, okay, we can see a stronger sell-off and break below this ascending support trend line. Okay, so make sure you guys are looking at the bigger picture for all these big names. All right, especially for Amazon, Tesla, Boeing, okay, and even XOM as well. Okay, so looks like that's it for all the submitted tickers. I kind of want to go over some of my tickers as well here. Let's go over Match. All right, so Match was posted on my Instagram page. If you guys haven't watched it, if you guys haven't looked at it, make sure you guys go over there and look at it now. But Match has been on a huge consolidation phase since early February. Okay, the price has gotten nowhere. We have significant area of support around 130 generally, and around 168 to around 174-ish generally as well. But literally we haven't seen any price movement. Okay, so in order for us to see any type of a trend, either to the upside or to the downtrend, we need to see a break of up above 170, confirmed break above 170, or a confirmed break down of 130, okay, respectively, okay. But overall, in the big picture mindset here, we are not in any upward trend or a downward trend. All right, we're in a sideways consolidation phase. So if you're trying to play this name, this is a name. It is a perfect name to play for range trades. All right, and what range trading is where you basically buy off a support and sell at resistance, or sell at resistance and then cover your trade at support. Right, so you sell you short the name at resistance, and then you long the name at support. And it seems like a lot of traders have been doing this, just judging by how the price has been moving for the past almost over a year, or almost a year. Okay, so match is something that you guys can definitely swing. All right, you just have to watch out for all the nasty wicks that it has, and not be taken out, right? Not be faked out by all these big wicks that each candlestick has, right? So this is one of those names that I call wiki, right? It's a very wiki name because of the fact that every candlestick has such a big range of a wick, right? Each wick, ranges from $1 to $2 or even $3, which is crazy. All right, that's a very wiki name. All right, so watch out for that, right? All right. Hey Fiji, yeah. So it's looking good for scalps as well. Well, for the overall market at least. And the last name that I want to go over before, if anyone wants to, submit 2 to 3 more tickers or even one more, please do so. But AMAT, AMAT, Applied Materials. Okay, this is the company that's absolutely essential for the semiconductor sector and industry. Their little tiny world of the semiconductor industry is crucial is on the backs of Applied Materials, because they provide a lot of of engineering solutions, I think, for these chips. So AMAT is a very, very essential company for the long term. However, I did post this on my Instagram page as well, so if you guys want to go look at that and come back, go ahead. It's on my Instagram page. It's one of my recent posts. But AMAT is not looking pretty good, because this ascending triangle here has now broken to the downside, right? So an ascending triangle is usually a bullish chart pattern, and I've described that AMAT or AMAT has been consolidating as well since early March, right? But now that we've broken to the downside of this ascending trendline support, we can now come all the way back down to around 120. Okay, so if we're able to kind of revisit around 131 or 132-ish, okay, either of those levels, and reject off of it as confirmation that we are going to head lower, we should see more selling and potentially back towards 120 or 121, right? So we attempted that multiple times here, okay, but we bounced every single time. We were near or on the ascending trend line of support. Now, the only thing that's different about this week is that we've broken to the downside. All right, we didn't even react, right, to this ascending trend line of support, and we just continue to head lower, right? And we also got confirmation that we are now using this ascending level of support as new ascending level of resistance by touching it almost to the T. I mean, this is the reason why I love my technical analysis, my own personal technical analysis, because of the fact that the price tends to react off of it perfectly here and there. Obviously, it's not always going to be perfect, but it's very satisfying to see. So this is what I always want to tout to people. I always preach that you guys have to get really, really used to your own technical analysis and drawing out levels. But obviously, first of all, training your eyes to be able to observe such levels, right? And I go over this on my one-on-one mentorships and over the 4 weeks program as well. All right, so if you guys are interested in that, please head over and sign up. Okay, so that's kind of it for today. I am going over my 30-minute mark here. But if anyone has any questions, please DM me on Instagram or email me at chartsfor1@gmail.com. But that is it for this live today, and I will see you all on Friday, hopefully. As you guys already know, these lives are on every other weekday, around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I'll see you guys all on the next video or the next live. Have a great rest of your night.